Peru's political crisis is deepening over clashes between opponents of the country's current president and security forces. Violence erupted after the ex-president was arrested in December for trying to dissolve Congress. Since then, dozens of people have died in clashes. Reporter Jacob Kessler is in Lima with more. So, Jacob, what's the latest on these deadly protests?
Hi, Arthi. Thank you for having me, first of all. So the latest and most important development is what happened 2 days ago in the southern city of Peru, Juliaca, which is also close to the border of Bolivia. 2 days ago, at least 18 people were killed. That includes 2 teenagers, 3 people under the age of 22, and 1 police officer as well. As you mentioned in your intro, these protests have been going on for a month, calling for the closure of Congress, the resignation of President Boluarte, and new elections. But that being said, there was a lull in the protests over the holidays. The protests did resume on January 4th, but they were calmer. Most airports remained open. There were less road blockades. So people thought maybe things were getting calmer. But that being said, what happened 2 days ago in Juliaca changes everything. I mean, the single largest death toll since the protests have begun in one day. Again, 17 people killed, 17 protesters killed, and 1 police officer.
So you're referring there to, what's happening in Juliaca, and we're wondering how that might impact protests in other parts of the country.
Yeah, so I've been going to most of the protests here in Lima, and what the protests have been centered on, yes, are the demands, but are also the deaths that have been occurring at these protests. It's very common to see protesters memorializing those who have died. There have been coffins. There have been protesters who have spilled fake blood. So these 17 protest deaths in one day are sure to really escalate the situation. And for the first time 2 days ago, we saw a police officer killed during these protests, and that's sure to inflame the right wing as well.
Thank you for the latest, Jacob. That is reporter Jacob Kessler in Lima.